So 2016 has been a great year for shooters with many AAA titles. This might be one of the best years for fans of the genre, and if you're looking for a new shooting game for 2016, well, here's a list of great games for you. Before we start, let me just say that this list is from games I've played, so there's going to be a few titles that are going to be left out, and anything on PC in general I can't speak on right now because I just don't play PC games yet. So I also factored in replayability and personal enjoyment onto this list, so your list could obviously be different than mine, and you may rank some of these games differently, and if you did, just comment below letting me know your list. So other than that, let's just get started. So starting off at number 10, we have BattleBorn, made by the same developers that made Borderlands, Gearbox. So BattleBorn is a first-person shooter with MOBA elements, and the game is chaotic, not that you would expect nothing less from a Gearbox game. So there's a lot of similarities to Borderlands with its art style, humor, and even loot. So if you're a fan of that series, then this may be something you like. The game's multiplayer also has a unique roster of different characters like you would expect from any MOBA games, and they're there for you to mess around with to find which one suits you and your playstyle. And then you add in a 6 to 7 hour campaign, then here's a game that you could be playing for a while. The thing is with this game is that it came out in the same month against another big game that will be mentioned later in this list, not to mention that there was confusion on what type of game this is when it was first coming out, leaving people wondering what it is. So with all that, people either forgot about this game or just never gave it a try. So I can say if you're a fan of MOBA games and the FPS genre and looking for something new, then this game may be worth a look, and it could be something potentially for you, especially at the price it's at right now. Okay, at number 9 is Tom Clancy's The Division, which was made by Ubisoft. The Division is a third-person open-world shooter that's based in New York. The game allows for many ways for you to experience it with its tactical gunplay and its deep RPG elements. So this is without a doubt one of the best, if not the best, open-world games that Ubisoft has ever created. And the gameplay in The Division is entertaining with that constant suspense element of people around you being able at any time to go rogue, especially if you collect the loot in the dark zone. So The Division is at its best if it's played with your friends, as you plan out how to tackle each thing you want to do. And the game has the possibility to be played for many hours, whether you're alone or with your friends. The game just offers rewarding gameplay for the more hours you put into it, and I'd say this game is at least worth a look if you missed out on it earlier this year. At number 8 is Ratchet and Clank, made by Insomniac Games. Now I can admit I'm a huge fan of the Ratchet and Clank series, playing the first 4 games back on the PS2 and even buying the remaster collection back in 2012 while also playing the most recent Ratchet and Clank games in their future series. So after 3 years without any new Ratchet and Clank games, we have this game, a reimagining of the first game with their debut on the PS4. So looking back at the 2002 edition of this game and compare it to this game, technology really advanced. The lighting, animation, character models, Insomniac really nailed the Pixar look into a video game. Of course, the gameplay is the classic Ratchet and Clank gameplay, with you blowing up everything in the galaxy while being treated to a nice, well-written, funny story. This is an epic adventure and a nice new addition to the series that I don't think you want to miss. Okay, at number 7 is Infinite Warfare, made by Infinity Ward. This is probably the most criticized Call of Duty ever, with a lot of hate sent towards it. I chose to look past the hate and criticism and just give it a fair chance by just playing it, and after playing it for a bit, I found it to be a fun game, but it just sticks to the same formula. And especially this year with there being so many new games that are innovative and trying new things, I just feel Infinite Warfare just plays it way too safe, and that's why I placed it at number 7 when usually I would place it a bit higher. So the campaign is great, it just the multiplayer offers nothing new. Maybe it's just me, or I haven't played enough of it yet to fully let it grow on me like Black Ops 3 did, but at the end of the day, it's still Call of Duty though, and it's packed with Call of Duty 4 if you chose to buy the bundle like me. So if I ever need a Call of Duty fix, it's always going to be there, I guess. At number 6 is Doom, made by id Software. Doom, being released back in 1993, is considered to be one of the most influential shooters ever, and one of the best shooters ever as well. I still own the game as an arcade game download on the Xbox 360 because I love the game that much. So when I heard that Doom was finally going to be released in 2016, I was super excited. So this game is a great reimagining of the Doom series, and it's one of the best FPS games of 2016 as well. So the brutality is back, and there's endless action with very clever designs. So the single player is the classic Doom, with you trying to kill every demon on Mars with that old health pickup system. It's basically the return of old school Doom with a few new tricks in the single player campaign that lasts around maybe 10 plus hours. And when you're done with the campaign, there's also a multiplayer aspect. The multiplayer is a fast-paced shooter that borrows from a lot of the modern shooters today while still maintaining an an old school feel. It's entertaining enough to where you can spend many hours into it and still have fun. This Return to Doom overall just has me excited for the future of the series, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. At number 5 is Overwatch, made by Blizzard. This is Blizzard's first new IP in years, which also happens to be a first-person shooter, and they really outdid themselves here. Overwatch is a 6v6 multiplayer objective-based shooter that offers several heroes with unique abilities that are split into different classes, that being offense, defense, tank, and support. And in order to win in Overwatch, you have to work as a team to finish objectives, and since the characters in Overwatch are all unique, you'll have to find the balance of which characters to use at what time, and that's just a part of the charm that Overwatch's multiplayer offers. You always have that urge to test out every character since there's so many, and you're even told what your team is missing at the menu. The gameplay just shines when you're trying to build up that strategy, since there's no simple formula or certain characters that are always guaranteed to work. In general, the coordination and teamwork involved in this game just makes the game more appealing, and I honestly could have put this game higher, but I only recently got it, so maybe in the future, or if I update this list, it actually might move up. But either way, this game is definitely worth a look, and it's a must play in my opinion. Okay, on number 4 is Gears of War 4, made by Coalition Studios. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Gears of War series, and I've played all of them, some more than others, but I can safely say Gears of War 4 is a great addition to the series. Gears of War 4 is like a polished Gears experience, and you just can't go wrong with it. It takes the great parts from other Gears of War games and puts it all in one package. The nostalgia factor is definitely there, and I'd like to say the series is in good hands for the future. The campaign is action-packed, and it's engaging throughout the 8 or so hours that I played through it, and there's even flashbacks in the intro of the story in case you're a newcomer to the series and just don't understand what's going on. In the story overall, there's enough to satisfy new players while also entertaining returning fans. And the addictive multiplayer of Gears is definitely back, but it's really polished, with new game modes and new mechanics to make the game feel new as well. Not to mention the return of Horde 3.0, which can literally be played forever. Gears of War 4 just feels like a Gears of War fan's wish. The graphics, the smooth frame rate, great campaign, and return to form multiplayer just makes this game great. I know I'll be playing this game for a while, and I know this is probably one of the best exclusive games on Xbox One for 2016 as well. So if you have an Xbox One, I think you should definitely play this game. At number 3 is Uncharted 4, made by Naughty Dog, and if this really is the final chapter of Uncharted, then what a way to go out. It's a great closure to a great series and the closest thing we have to Indiana Jones in video games. Uncharted 4's blockbuster storytelling always seems to get better, and in the campaign there's non-stop action. Naughty Dog always seems to set the bar for quality in their games and also what's possible in the genre. The 10+ hour campaign will blow you away with its over-the-top set pieces, character development, its humor, and even its mystery. Then you have the multiplayer component, which is also great. This time around, there's new supernatural abilities like teleportation and sidekicks who follow you around to help you. The multiplayer is something that you really can get invested to the more you play it, and it's really well thought out and enjoyable. Uncharted 4 in general is a must play for any PS4 owner who is a fan of shooter games. With its thrilling action, clever pacing, this game just exceeds expectations, and if this really is Nathan Drake's last adventure, I just want to say I'm glad that I was a part of it. Okay, and number 2 is Titanfall 2. This was a real hard one between number 1 and 2, and it really could have gone to either one because they're both that good. But anyway, I feel Titanfall 2 is really an underrated game that many people may know but just haven't tried. So let me just tell you that it's definitely worth that consideration. Titanfall 2 is a bigger and better version of its original game, and it even has enough in here to keep you playing for months after buying it. The short campaign is exciting and will keep you entertained while playing it. The multiplayer, however, is where this game truly shines, with the map designs complementing its fast pace and its movements allowing you to move around with no effort. Its top tier control and fun game modes is what keeps me coming back to it, and the Titans are also something fresh and new that mixes up the gameplay drastically. I don't know how long I've invested into this game, but it's something I just keep going back into. The multiplayer just feels rewarding, and the more you play, the more you fall in love with it. This is definitely some of the most fun I've had in a multiplayer game in a while. If you haven't gave this game a chance or you're on the fence about it, let me just tell you it's definitely worth it. I think creativity and innovation deserves a reward considering the risk involved, and that could be said for most of the games on my list, but it's especially true with Titanfall 2. This game is definitely a must play, and I think we should definitely support creativity and innovation in games in general. And at number 1 is Battlefield 1, made by DICE. So much could have gone wrong here, but so much went right. World War I might have been risky, but DICE really pulled it off. The fan support and positivity around this game definitely shows that. DICE manages to drop its personality onto World War I with its Battlefield game series, and it's a smooth transition. The sense of immersion you get from this game might be the standard for other games to live up to. The campaign is something that will keep you hooked for the 8-10 hours that you get from it, and it's a huge step up for the previous titles in the series. Now it's definitely worth playing. The The multiplayer, however, is most likely the reason you play Battlefield, and it definitely doesn't disappoint. It's surprising how much it impresses though. You think that being a World War I, that there'd be a limit for DICE, or there'd be a reason to step back from a lot of new risky ideas, but that's not the case for DICE. It's exciting how they can turn World War I into a modern shooter while still keeping it true to the Battlefield root and still having room to innovate. I'm still surprised at how modern this game manages to feel. Battlefield 1 is the best surprise shooter for 2016, and it's a very refreshing change of pace from the recent shooters that we've been getting in recent years. Battlefield 1 is a must-play shooter for 2016, and I recommend everybody to play it and own it because it's a must-have in your collection. Alright guys, so that's my top 10 shooters for 2016. Of course, my list is my opinion obviously, and yours could be different, so let me know what your top 10 games for 2016 is by writing down in the comment section below, as well as what games I missed on my list. To be honest, any of the top 5 games that I chose could be number 1 because they're all that good, and there's been a lot of good games for 2016 in general. I just feel it's a really good year for shooters, so just let me know what you think of this list down below. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, like the video and subscribe because it really keeps me motivated. But as always guys, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.